I would just come on for a few minutes because I have makeup on. I feel like now I so rarely wear like a full face of makeup that I'm just like, if I have it on, I should go live. I don't know. This is of just being okay with random YouTube moments. I was at a kickoff brunch for Black History, and I thought I would come on and tell you a little bit about what I have been reading, and then I will say goodbye. So right now I am reading Let Us Descend by Jessamine Ward. And this, I'm about, I would say, a third of the way through the novel. I'm reading this book because one of my bookish acquaintances, Dr. Maya Butler, taking a course on Black literary geography, and this book is one of the 3 books that will be taught. Sorry, someone is way too close to our car. And this is one of the 3 books that she's teaching. So there are, I think, about 15 of us in the circle, and we've been discussing this. So I've really been enjoying this book. If you have read Let Us Descend by Jessamine Ward, I would love to hear what you think. I first heard of Jessamine Ward, I think her first novel was Sing Unburied Sing. And I remember that Dee Dee, I believe it was Dee Dee or maybe Musicality, they were discussing that book on their channels. And I didn't know very much about Jessamine Ward, and I hadn't read a lot of that kind of writing. Put Jessamine Ward's writing in the same category of sort of historical fiction with surrealist or speculative surrealist elements. And so I'm really enjoying it. In the novel, we are following Anise, who is a young Black woman. She is mixed heritage, mixed race. We are first introduced to her through her relationship with her mother. They live on land on which there is a plantation, and they are enslaved Africans. And Anise is the of sexual violence. So her mother was sexually violated by the white male plantation owner, who have a name. They just call him her sire, which I think is great. And we are introduced to this world that Anise and her mother are able to create in the woods. And there's so much wonderful description of the mother-daughter relationship. There are magical elements, so much interaction with the land and with passage. And right now, the characters are in motion. They're going from one place to another. And because they are in motion, the reader gets to follow along in this journey, and gets to interact with the land in the ways that they are into the land. There's a really beautiful dog right there. So I'm liking it. And I think even though it's very different from the books that I've recently read, it lives in my mind, it lives in the same world or in the same category of books as things like Conjure Women, the book, I think it's Afua, I don't know her last name, but Conjure Women. It also oh, Tommy's back with our groceries. It also reminds me of the Book of Night Women by Marlon James. And do you need help? I decided to go live on YouTube. Okay. It reminds me of the Book of Night Women, of Conjure Women. What else would I say? I think those are the 2 that there's one more, but I can't quite put my, it's got elements of a book that I recently read called Promise. That is The author's name is, her first name I think is Rita, but and yeah, so Rita, I don't remember her last name, but she also wrote her first novel, I think was called Remembrance. Oh, Gina, is Afia Atakora the author of Conjure Women? Thank you very much. I love when people in the chat correct me because my memory is woo. But I just really enjoy reading books where we've got a main character who's interacting with nature and spirit. And I don't want to give away because I know that people are very sensitive to spoilers, but is something about exploring the relationship in African descended people and the land. And I love stories that do that really well. And I am really moved by this. Oh, book that kind of takes up a similar topic and deals with similar settings would also be Ta-Nehisi Coates' novel, The Water Dancer. Actually, The Water Dancer definitely has some of those different elements. I think there's a question that some of these speculative works ask us, and that question is, how did enslaved Black people, how did we survive, right? So how did we survive? What can we take from that into this present moment? There are questions about, like, what did we leave? I'm also reminded of, what was the She Would Be King. There are also some elements of sort of speculative, nature-based magic in She Would Be King as well. But just going back to the point that I was making, that many of these stories that engage speculative, surrealist, or magical elements are kind of following the experiences of African descended people who were enslaved, and asking the question, how did they survive this? Like, what kept them going? What kept us going? What kept our ancestors going? How did they reckon with their surroundings? How did they build community? How did they use the resources around them in order to survive? What can we take from that? And so this Let Us Descend is taking me to that place, and I am enjoying it. One of the things that I'm finding very pleasurable about Jessamine Ward's novel is her writing style. It's very, very poetic. She does a lot of showing and not telling. She trusts her reader, and I'm just enjoying sort of swimming along in the setting and learning about her characters, and just learning about the love and the resilience that existed alongside some of the difficulty and pain and violence that many of our ancestors went through. So it's and then that is great to also read in community, because some of the readers, and certainly Dr. Butler has read a lot of this work, and so it's really cool to hear other people take up the book from different perspectives. It's my own reading experience. I love reading in community. I love reading with other people. So so I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so that's what I'm currently reading. Thank you for watching, and if you're here watching live, please let me know what you're reading, how you're liking it, and if you are watching this in the replay, I'm really curious to hear if you're reading any Black science fiction, Black speculative fiction, or Black surrealist fiction, and what is it mean to your sense of self and place in this historical and political moment. Are you finding these books helpful to you as you navigate the political climates that we're in around the world? And how are these narratives helping you negotiate your own feelings and your own sense of place in this moment? So remember to read with purpose, and thanks very much for joining. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Tell me I don't know how to turn this off. I think.
Yep.
That
Should be.
okay, bye.